What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. And for today's gameplay, I'm bringing you a prankkids versus a swordsoul matchup with my opponent playing swordsoul going first. Now, looking at my hand, it's a pretty good going second hand, but sadly, whenever my opponents play swordsoul, they always start with the Longyan combo into Baron, so I cannot ever nip them turn 1 on their turn. So now I have to start thinking. I know my opponent's end board is going to be a Grandmaster plus the Baron plus maybe a Blackout if he searches for the Blackout with the Grandmaster. So I have to think, how can I play around the Baron's Omni plus the Grandmaster Negate plus the Blackout Destruction if he puts the Blackout on the field, which my opponent does search for it. So I have to think maybe if I Kaiju the Baron, or maybe bait out his card with my adventure combo, I could do all that. But what I did not expect was my opponent having Protos in his hand. So he Protos Dark Locks me as well and then sets down the Blackout and ends his turn. Right away, I have to think. I have to bait out the Baron's Omni at this point, otherwise I will not be able to go into my play. So I use my nib to bait out the Baron's Omni, which it successfully does. That way, I have one less thing to worry about going into my turn next. So that's out. End phase, let's see what we draw into. I draw into a Call by the Grave. Really good card to draw into. So first off, we Kaiju the Grandmaster, so don't have to worry about the negate on our Doodle-Doo anymore. And then I bait out the Blackout with my Adventures engine. Now keep in mind, Protos is a card that cannot be destroyed through card effects. So Blackout will not destroy that, it'll only destroy my cards. So I successfully baited out his Blackout as well. Now we go into our combo. And with the Call by the Grave, in case he had an Ashe or a Maxi in his hand, we could have prevented that as well. So I safely go into my Butler combo afterwards. Now you guys will see, I will make, well, it's not considered a misplay, but I will make a greedy play. What I should have done was used my Call by the Grave this turn and targeted the Grandmaster and banished the Grandmaster. So that way on my opponent's next turn on his standby phase, he cannot use the Baron's effect to pull the Grandmaster on the field. If he does that, I will only get one Butler pop and not two, because Grandmaster will negate my first Butler pop. So I probably should have activated my Call by the Grave and banished the Grandmaster, because in case he draws into a crossout to cross out my Call by the Grave, I will only get one Butler pop, as I said before, which would be really bad for us. So let's see if my greed pays off. First of all, draw phase, we activate our Bow Wow, get our Butler cards in our hand, so we have our Butler. Standby phase, he activates the Baron, which I instantly proceed to Call by the Grave. And what do you know? This guy did literally top deck a crossout designator. So he uses it to negate my Call by the Grave. That means his Grandmaster will come on the field, and I will only be getting one single Butler pop, not two, because of the Grandmaster's negate. My opponent normals out the Taya, so he uses up his normal summon. That means it's time to go. Time to pop our Panda, go into a Butler, and pop our opponent's field. So everything aside from Protos gets popped, and if he does not have a way to combo extend, we're basically good to go. So I do just that. First of all, we use the Miamu once we get the graveyard activations. I know it was coming. I know the Grandmaster negate was coming. So we have to use our Butler's second pop as well. Tribute the Butler itself. So right here, we pop his whole field aside from the Protos because it is immune to destruction through card effects. And then we get all our graveyard activations and start putting cards on our field. I believe I do not put 2 copies of Dropsies because he can put this in attack and kill off one of the copies of Dropsies, so I did not do that. He adds the copy of Longyan in his hand off of the Adara, and this guy had a way to go into the Longyan. So he puts the Baron on the field again. But apparently, this guy did not know how prankkids Bow Wow barks work. So watch what he does. First of all, he uses the Vishu does bounce to bounce my pranks in my hand. Pretty useless thing to do if you guys ask me. Next up, he Protos Earth locks me, trying to pop my Roxy's. Does not happen, Bow Wow went through. Then he activates the Baron's Pop to pop my Lamseys again. Does not go through. Bow Wow Pop did go through. Then he goes into battle phase, kills off the Roxies, ends his turn. Now he locked us out of Earth. We do not care about it. Now we can go into Dark Monsters. So first of all, this guy still has his Baron's Omni, mind you. He has not used up his Baron's Omni. So I do not go into my combo with Meowmoo. I had 2 cards on the field, so I go into my combo of my Doodle-Doo straight up to try to play around the Baron's negate. So I activate my Doodle-Doo as Chain Link 1 because Baron is a negate plus destroy. I do not want my Doodle-Doo getting destroyed. And then Chain Block with my Prankkids graveyard activations. Put 2 cards on the field. This guy chose not to use his Baron's Omni on this. I activate Prankkids Place, and he chooses to use his Baron's Omni on my Prankkids Place. The worst card you can use the Baron's Omni on. So he successfully baited it out. Now I'm just going for my OTK combo. So we go into Nightmare, Nightmare activate, bounce the Protos, go into Access Code. Access Code will kill off the 2 cards that are on the field, and the Fusion Destiny puts the DPE on the field at 25. We win the game. So once I activate my Fusion Destiny, my opponent will end up outright scooping because he knows he lost the game. So there it is, guys. That's the end of the game. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more daily prank kid video uploads, and if you guys are interested in the live version of all of this, I do live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/jpbduel. Link along with my schedule is going to be in the video description itself for you guys to check out. This is JPBDuel signing off for today. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!